Hello everyone, this is Robin. Thank you so much for signing up for my Sunshine and Rainbows online class. I can honestly say this is one of my most favorite classes that I've ever put together. It's just bright and fun, and it's going to just make you feel so happy putting together all these fun rainbows. So we will go ahead and just jump right in. If you're new to my online classes, I treat these more like as if you were actually in my craft room. So imagine yourself sitting around my craft table and stamping and laughing and having fun with me. This is going to be, there's no editing on this video, and you have a supply list in this class packet, and I'll show you that in just a minute. If you are one of my returning class members, welcome back. I'm so happy that you're here with me today, and I hope you love this class as much as you've loved past classes. So in your class package, you will have received the Sunshine and Rainbows bundle along with the Versamark ink pad. You will also need a basic gray ink pad for this if you don't own one already. If you ordered online with the class code, or if you qualified to receive this class, you'll just have received this class packet. And I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and we'll show you everything that was in the class package. And if you're on my team, this is the class materials package that you will have received. So if you're new to my classes or new as a customer, my team of pink stampers have the option to just purchase the class materials package from me, and then they can order everything else they need for the class from themselves with the discount. If you'd like to learn more about how you can do that, you can check it out at mypinkstamper.com. Just click on join my team, and all of the question and answers are right on there for you. You can always contact me if you have any more questions. So we will go ahead and jump right in. You will need a Big Shot for this class, or a machine that works with our framelits. These are pretty easy framelits. Some of them are longer today, so a Big Shot really helps to cut those out. Okay, so we'll go ahead and open up the materials packet. I kind of have a hot mess today with mine. All right, this class, I don't think I've ever cut as much paper for any of the 100+ classes I've designed in the past 2.5 years. This class had so much paper, so we will be doing a lot of cutting, and I will only be making one each of the 3 designs, and you'll be able to make 2, just so you know that. There's a lot of cutting, so hopefully I can get this class done in a timely manner for you. And we'll start by, I'll start by showing you what you have in your class packet. So you have your 6 Whisper White envelopes, and you can stamp these up. There's some really cute stamps. You can make a rainbow, add a sun, add whatever you'd like on your envelopes, or just keep them plain. On the very bottom of your class materials packet, above the chipboard, you will have the supply list. In the supply list, this has everything that I used to make all 3 designs for the cards that you're making in this class. It has the dimensions for the cardstock that you're using for the bases and the layers, along with the item codes for everything. So if you'd like to reorder any of these items, you can just order them directly from my shopping page. Some of these items may be discontinuing in the next month and a half, so now is the time. I know that Elegant Eggplant is one of our discontinuing colors, so if you are in love with this color, like I am, you may want to stock up on the cardstock and ink or ink refills. Okay, so keep everything in the order that I have it. We'll go ahead and start with this top card. And this has the Berry Burst. Leave everything else in the order. I know sometimes, especially if you're new to my classes, it's tempting to lay it all out. I promise if you lay it all out like that, you may be a little bit lost. So, all right. So you have a lot of paper for this one. Let's go ahead and put them in the stacks. You'll have 2 of the Berry Burst bases, and then you're going to have 2 of the Lemon Lime Twist stripes. And you'll have 2 of the Elegant Eggplant smaller piece of cardstock, and then 2 of the Whisper White, and then 2 of the Stitched Shapes circles. So I'm going to just set one of these aside, and I'm going to be using one. The rest of the cardstock pieces, you're going to have one of each. You will have extra cardstock left over just because it's easier for me to give you guys extra and to cut them out like this than it would be for me to try to, you know, get every piece the small size that you need. So you're going to have extra, which is actually a fun bonus, I think, in this class. Okay, so the framelits that we're going to be using for this one we're using the cloud. So grab our cloud, and then we're going to be using 4 of the rainbows pieces. And you might have to open them up and kind of size them out. Make sure you're getting the right sizes. So we're using 1, 2, 3, and then 4 for this one. And then I'll set everything else aside. So you can make a rainbow as big as 7 if you'd like. This one just has the 4 on it. And I'm setting everything else aside for now. And we're going to go ahead and pull out the Big Shot. So for my Big Shot, I am going to be cutting 1 cloud. Everything I cut, you're going to be needing the other half for the other card with the design. So I'm only making 1, just a reminder, just in case you have forgotten. So I'm going to be 1 cloud, and then I'm going to start with the Berry Burst. And the Berry Burst, I'm going to be using the largest sized rainbow. And kind of put them in order. If you see, I kind of have them in order off to the side, just so I make sure that I'm cutting the right color. It really doesn't matter which color, honestly. You could have your rainbow any size. So you'll have a lot of extra when you're done. So let's go ahead and run these 2 pieces through. Oops. Okay, so I have my cloud, and I have 1 of my pieces of rainbow. I can put that on I can put this aside. I have my little piece of my rainbow, and then I have all this left over, and you can even use, some of the card designs are using the same color rainbows, so if you want to just use the same piece of cardstock, you can, and then save your full pieces for another project and another design. All right, set that aside. Okay, and the next one I'm going to do is, I'm going to do the Elegant Eggplant and the Bermuda Bay. And I want the Elegant Eggplant to be the next size and the Bermuda to be the next size. All right. Put this through here. Okay, and punch out your little rainbow piece. Okay, and then the last color I'm using is the Tangerine Tango. I have on your supply list on this card that we used pumpkin pie, but we actually are using the Tangerine Tango, and the item code is on your paper on one of the different cards if you're interested in that one or reordering that. Okay, so now we have everything cut. I'm going to set my Big Shot aside for just a second. And we're going to be stamping with the basic gray for this one. And I'm going to be stamping the sentiment, "Wishing you a sunny day." I'm going to grab the block for that. Wishing you a sunny day. And I really want, when I was designing this class, I really wanted this circle to seem like a sun. So it works out perfectly, I think, if I can get to it. Go ahead and ink that up. I don't care if I have it upside down because it's the circle. It doesn't really matter on that one. Okay, now we can start putting this together. We have no ribbon at all in this class, so we can start with the bottom piece on all of the cards. It just makes it a lot easier. I'm going to be folding this in half with my bone folder, and then I'll go ahead and start with my layer. And I'm using snail adhesive on this, and I'm going to be putting the adhesive on all 4 sides since this is an embossed piece, and it just helps to keep the sides down so it's not so wiggly. Okay, I'm going to put this one right here. And now I just have, now we're not going to add this part on just yet. So this, let's set everything else aside for now. Okay, so we're going to line up. I'm going to show you how I want this to look so it doesn't trick anybody. And I'm using my glue dots, mini glue dots, which are part of my promotion this week. If you place an online order for any discontinuing or any other items, you get a free roll for a $50 order. So that's pretty good. If you're watching this later, this probably does not apply. But just thought I'd share that because I sometimes forget when I'm doing my videos to let you guys know other things going on in my world. Okay, so I'm kind of just going to line this up how I want it to be. This is what it's going to look like. We're going to have it on like this. We're really only using about a little over half or maybe half, and then we're going to have, it's going to look like this. So cute, huh? So if you want to keep these on while you're doing your first one, and then it makes it easier to line them up. So I'm going to be using a glue dot, one on the end and then one kind of on the middle-ish, close to the middle. And then with the glue dots, I just kind of wrap them in. They're very pliable. Okay, so I have that. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now I can go ahead and take the rest off and start putting the glue dots on these. So every card we're doing today will have a rainbow. We're going to be cutting a lot of rainbows today and using a lot of glue dots. If you do not have glue dots, you can use liquid glue. You could use the snail adhesive. You just have to, you know, rein it in a little bit. Okay. See, I'm just pushing these in like this. Really easy to do. And then I've got one more color. I love these glue dots. They're so fun and simple and easy, and they're not messy at all. I am a non-messy stamper if I can help it. All right, I'm gonna add that right here. And now I can just turn this over and just cut the rest of these off. Ta-da! Super duper easy. And now I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on the bottom of the white, and I'm going to add this onto the eggplant, elegant eggplant. I almost said another name. Look at how pretty that is. So gorgeous. And now we're going to take some dimensionals, just our regular Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to put 2 on the back of this cloud here. And then I'm going to add this right here. Isn't that so fun? And I'm going to also add some dimensionals to the back of this sun here. Like that. And I'm going to put that right, whoops, right here. And then you can pop this up if you want. I'm just going to go ahead and lay it flat. And that's going to go on here. Isn't this a fun and just super, super fun? Fun card. So look at that. There's card number 1, card design number 1. Are you guys ready for design number 2? Okay, let's go ahead and grab our stack here. And we are going to grab the next one. which should be the one with the Tangerine Tango base. And if it's not, just find the stack with the base. Okay, so this one we're going to go ahead and separate. You will have two of the Tangerine, two of the Bermuda, two Whisper White this size. That is the only thing you will have two of, right? Yes. Everything else we're going to be cutting with the Big Shot. Okay. So we are going to be using Real Red, Tangerine Tango, Elegant Eggplant. So if you'd like to grab your Elegant Eggplant from before, this is the great time. And then we're also using the Tangerine, so I can switch those out. And then we're using Pool Party. I'm sorry. Yes, Pool Party, right? Or Soft Sky. It's on the list. Should we look? Let's look for just a second. This is the You Can't Have It card. You can't have it. Okay. I used... I should have it on here. Lemon Twist. Okay. Well, it should say... And I put Read Red. I'm sorry, this is funny. I just saw a typo. Oh, Soft Sky. It's right here. Soft Sky. And it should say Real Red and not Read Red. That's hilarious. I'm glad I saw that. I do not like typos. Okay, so you'll have one each of these colors. Then you'll have one of the Lemon Lime Twist, one of the Basic Gray, another Whisper White, and the Silver. So we're doing a lot of cutting with this one. And so I'm going to show you which ones we're using. We're going to use the same four for the rainbow. So let's grab those again. The same four. We're also using the cloud again. We're going to be using the lightning bolt. And then we're also using this smaller cloud thing here. Okay, I don't know what we're going to call it. A border. So let's go ahead and pull out our Big Shot. Okay, let's start with the border one and then get everything out of my way. Okay, so this one, we're actually using this as part of the card. So it's going to be on the bottom of the card and it just looks like grass, right? So about maybe an inch tall, maybe like this. And then you're going to be doing, oops, and make sure it doesn't move around. You're going to be doing the same thing on the other side for your other card. So just save that. So remember that this stack here is for both cards. So when you're cutting things out, make sure you keep room. So you shall have this. You will have that border. You can set that aside. And now we are going to be doing the lightning bolt on the, if I can find my lightning bolt. Where did you go? Where did you go? Lightning bolt on this. I gave you plenty of the silver glimmer. You can use it how you'd like. And then we're cutting the cloud. You'll need one of the gray and one of the white. So I'm just going to cut them at the same time. So I'm going to put them on top of each other. You'll need one for each, one of each for each. So just run that through. Okay. And then we're going to be cutting the rainbow, and I'll show you the colors we're using in just a second. I might cut some of that off the camera. So look, I have two clouds here. You see that? Set that aside. And then my lightning bolt right here. My lightning bolt. And then on this piece here, we are going to be cutting our rainbow. So on this one, I've started with the Real Red this time with the big piece. And then I'm doing Elegant Eggplant. Has glitter all over it for the second size. And you can make it, you'll have a ton of cardstock, you guys. It's my gift to you. Thank you so much for signing up for my class. Here's some extra cardstock for you. And I hope you love it and have fun with it. Okay, so let me cut those, set those aside. Whoops, don't drop them on the floor. That's not good at all. Okay. And then the next size, we're doing the next color. And the next size is our Soft Sky. And it will be the next size. And then the smaller of the four, the smallest will be the tangerine. Okay, like that. Run these through. Set your Big Shot aside, and now we can start putting the card together. We only have, again, since we're using so many of the framelits, we're not doing a lot of stamping on this one. So we need the raindrop stamps. Can you find your raindrop stamps? And then we're using the saying that says you can't have sunshine without a little rain. Is that right? You can't have a rainbow without a little rain. And we're going to have that on here, and then we're using the raindrops right here. Okay, so if you can find a background paper, that would be wonderful. I have my stamping grid, and we're going to be stamping this, and we're stamping the cloud, and I'm using basic gray. So this card will be turned this way. Let's go ahead and stamp this one first on our cloud. Perfect. I'm going to set this aside on my card. And now I'm going to take the raindrops and just randomly have them on my card. We're going to cover up some of them because we will have a cloud and we'll have a rainbow on here. And we'll have a little above the rainbow. I actually did it pretty symmetrical. I didn't mean to do that. I don't think I can help it. I don't think I can help be symmetrical. It's really hard for me not to be. So you guys can do that however you'd like. Okay, so let's go ahead and fold over our Tangerine Tango cardstock. And we'll start with the Whisper White here, and we're going to put some adhesive on the back. And we're going to add that onto our Bermuda Bay cardstock, like this. Bermuda Bay. And now I'm going to take my piece of Lemon Lime Twist, add it to the bottom. Isn't it so beautiful? Look at that. Actually, am I going to add it to the bottom yet? Okay, I'm not yet. I'm going to add my rainbow first, and then we'll add this over it. So my rainbow is going to go on the bottom like this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my glue dots. I'm going to start with my Real Red. Put my glue dots on, one on each corner or on each side end, and then I'll just put one in the middle. I'll do that for all of them. And just mesh it in, mold it in so they touch. And then now I'm going to have this one just sit like this. Now the grass is going to go over it, so it'll cover the bottom part. And the next color is the Elegant Eggplant. Did I call it that again? Is it? It is Elegant Eggplant. We used to have a color called Eggplant Envy, so sometimes I get a little confused. And we have some brand new colors coming out in just on June 1st. You guys can get new colors. We did a color, Stampin' Up's doing a color refresh, which I'm so excited about. So they're discontinuing some colors and bringing some new colors in. Is this the right color? It doesn't look like I did the right one. It doesn't, does it? Looks like I'm missing one. That's all right. We're not going to see the bottom anyway. Oh, I'm not. I just didn't line it up right. That's okay because we're covering the bottom. So, and I don't want to have a little gap between the rainbow, so I don't like to start at the end. I like to kind of line it up at the middle. That sometimes messes me up. Okay. And then I'll add that in here like this. Like that. And then one more color. This is the part I think that just takes the longest, is just putting the rainbows on here. Other than that, it's fairly simple. I just felt a glue dot on my finger. Okay, so these are all of the glue dots that we need, I think. Mold that in, okay. Put in like that. And now we'll go ahead and put the grass over the bottom. Oops. Grass over the bottom like this. It's gonna cover that part of the rainbow. And now what I'm going to do next, is this right? I'm going to add just adhesive to like the top part of my cloud. And I'm going to stagger it a little bit with this dark cloud like this. Because you know, when you see a white cloud, you usually have a dark cloud if it's raining somewhere. And I'm going to take one more glue dot, just one more for this card. And I'm going to on the top, so it's the top of my lightning bolt like this. See? The top part. And now this is going to come out of this, like that. Perfect. And now I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to add some dimensionals. Probably just a few, maybe 4. A few plus 1. How about that? That would be 4. That's my new math. That's called Robin math. And a couple plus 1 would be 3. Okay, and 1, yeah, you got it. You get it. So we're going to add this on here. Just such a cute card. I love it. And now I'm going to turn this one over, this piece. Add some adhesive and add this on here. And this is card number 2, you guys. Check it out. Check it out. You did it. Nice and bright. This is perfect. The perfect card to brighten somebody's day. We all have struggles. We all have challenges. And it's good to know, just a reminder that we're all kind of going through it. We're all in this together, right? It's my little words of wisdom for you guys. Okay, last card. This one has the most cutting. You'll thank me. You'll thank me later, I think. Okay, so we're going to have 2 soft sky. And then do we have 2 of anything else? I don't think we do. Everything else is cut. So go ahead and set this aside. You're like, oh my goodness, Robin. Okay, so yes, all of these, you'll have 1 of each of everything else. We're going to be stamping a little bit. Okay, I'm going to be stamping. All right, here. We're going to be starting with the Daffodil Delight, and we're going to be stamping with our Versamark. I'm so excited. Now for the Versamark, we're going to be using this as a watermark ink today. I'm not sure if you knew you could do that. This is really fun when you don't have a lot of the inks or you want to give it a different look. So we're using that for this class. You can also use the Versamark for embossing. It's a stickier pad. It stays sticky a little bit longer. So for this one, we're going to be using, I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to do some of it off camera in a little bit. Okay, so we're using the sun, and we're going to stamp the sun onto the daffodil, and I want you to look at this. You can see a good, it makes it a little bit darker. You can see the sun. And now it depends on which color you are using. It totally depends on what it looks like. And the darker ones might show up a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make my rainbow using I'm going to be using the 5 sizes. The only ones I'm not using are the 2 smallest, which is this one here and this one. So I'll go ahead, and if you only have 1 block, I only have, let's see, I do have more than 1 big block. I'm going to pull out the ones I'm using. 3, 4, and 5. Set everything else aside. So the biggest one, and the way that you do this so it doesn't get all wiggly is you just lay it on your surface. And I'm actually using a pretty big block for this. I'm using an E. And I'm just going to pick this up. And then I'll go ahead and ink this up. You can also just turn it upside down if it makes it easier for you to use the bigger blocks. And I'm going to start with my Daffodil Delight. I'm sorry, my Bermuda Bay. So I'm going to ink that up, and look at how well that showed up on there. So I'm going to set this aside, and now I'm going to go ahead and clean these off in between. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm using my Stampin' Scrub here, and I'm going to put a little of our Stampin' Mist on it. And go ahead and just clean these off in between. This video might be a little bit longer, but there's a little more education on this one. And then the next size I'm using, I'm going to do the same thing, lay it down, pick it up. My next one is going to be the Real Red. Tap some of the Versamark on there. And you can use the other cardstock if you have some left over as well. Okay, there's my Real Red. Clean it off. And the next color I'm using is Tangerine Tango. Okay, and I'm going to pick up the next size, which is this one here. You can use, like I said, your extra cardstock from your other piece. Look at how nice that is. All right, and then we're going to be using Old Olive with the next size down. That's this one here. Ink it up. Got my Old Olive. That one really showed up nicely. Did you know you could do this? I'm sure some of you, this might be something new. Some of you may already know about this Versamark being a watermark pad. And then I'm going to do it on the eggplant. Look at how well that showed up as well. As nicely as well. Let me clean this off. Go ahead and put this away. I'm going to go ahead and, while I have my cleaner out, I'm going to clean some of these on video. This is just like a real class, you guys, because it is a real class. And this is what I would do in a real class setting. I would clean off my stamps for you. So now they're all clean and ready to go. Okay, let's pull out our Big Shot. There is quite a bit of Big Shot work. So what I'm not going to do on film for you is I'm not going to cut out these rainbows. They're just match them up with the framelit and cut out all of these. We already did this on 2 different cards. Now you just have to line it up. So I'm going to do that off camera to save a little time. Set that aside. And now you have 4 pieces of the Whisper White quarter sheet. You only need 2 for each card. So I'm going to set 2 aside. And what we're going to do here, this is so super fun, is we're using the 2 different borders. We're using this one, and we're going to be using this one. And I gave you a ton of cardstock. We probably don't need all of this, but we need quite a bit actually. So this very first one, we're going to layer it on top of each other, but this one's going to be a little bit higher in the back. So it's going to be about like this, okay? So this is maybe about halfway. So this is about half that it's on. Go ahead and run it through. And then save your Whisper White for other things you want to cut. You can even cut out, we're cutting out a cloud. The cloud, I have given you this white for the cloud, but you could use some of your excess. I'm going to set this aside. This is ready to go. And now this one here, I'm going to cut just like we did, but I'm going to cut this one up just a little bit higher. We use this one also for the grass, remember? Might get a little move, it might move on me, but that's okay. I'm just going to run this through. And you will have, like I said, lots of extra Whisper White. I just don't want my class members ever to have an experience where you're short on cardstock. So instead of using, I'm just going to use some of this excess for the cloud. So let's grab the cloud. And so we're cutting the cloud with this one, and we're also going to be cutting 2 clouds with our vellum. So let me go ahead and cut this one first. Oops. And then remember, I'm going to cut the rainbows off of the camera just to save a little camera time for you. Give us time to do other things on the camera. And now for the vellum, this is plenty. I'm just going to go ahead and fold it in half. You'll need 2 of the vellum clouds for each card. So I doubled it in half, so it gives me 2 when I run it through. Like this. And set that aside. And now with our, let's go ahead and cut our sun out. Get your sun framelit, line it up the best you can. Oops, and you might need to turn it to line it up. Okay, that's good enough for me. Run this through, and then I'm gonna run the rainbows through, and I will be right back. Okay, we have all of the cutting done, and we're doing just a little bit more stamping. So on the smaller piece, you'll see these are going to layer nicely on top of each other, right? On the smaller piece, we're going to be using the basic gray, and we're stamping, "May your birthday be bright and beautiful." I thought that looked like a really fun sentiment for this part of the card. And I'm just going to ink this up, put it on the left side. Perfect. And I'm going to put away my gray. I'm going to pull out my background sheet again. We're going to use it in just a second. Let's fold over our soft sky cardstock, and we're going to be doing a little stamping for the background here. We're using the Versamark to make a Versamark image, a watermark image, and we're going to be stamping the cloud. I just kind of wanted it in the background. I'm going to grab a block for that. And now I'm just going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp it on and off, just all over. And we're going to cover up a lot of this. Will be covered. We're going to cover this up, but I want it to be cloudy in the background a little bit. We have a rainbow, right? Means there was rain at one time. Okay, and I can set this aside. Now it's time to put this entire card together, you guys. So let's go ahead and we will start with, we're going to start layering these up just a little bit. We're going to start first by just laying this flat, this cloud border, the big one, the taller one. It's going to go flush like this. And now we're going to start putting our rainbow together. Just make sure that it's up a little bit. We're going to make sure this covers it, so make sure it's high enough so it covers it like that. Okay, I'm going to have it kind of tilted a little bit because we're going to put a cloud on top of that part. So let me pull out my glue dots again and get ready, because this one is going to be quite a bit of glue dotting. So I'll do the 3, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and I'm going to have that, like I said, just tilted a little bit like this, because that part will be covered by a cloud. Okay, let me just make sure. Yes, that looks good. So the next color is Real Red. And don't you like how it looks when you have the Versamark on it? It just gives it a little more texture and dimension. I got a glue dot on my fingernail, so I'll just use that one. It'll unstick, okay. All right. Put these on here, line it up. That glue dot's being a little weird. There we go. The next color, I'm missing a color. There it is. The next color will be my Tangerine Tango. And put my glue dots on there. It's okay if we don't cover them on the end. The ends are going to be covered anyway. Okay, and then we're going to put Old Olive. I thought that was there was one missing. Just fold the inner part in. Put this on here. And our last one is our Elegant Eggplant. Oops, Okay. And we can just put this on here. And now let's go ahead and pop this piece up. We're going to take first, we're going to take the vellum. And the vellum's going to kind of go right here. So let's just grab a glue dot. We need one. We only need one at the bottom just to keep it secure. So this one's going to go right here. And then we're going to grab another glue dot, or another of our vellum clouds. And I'm going to put one on the bottom to secure it. And I'm going to slide it under here. So it kind of just sticks out up at the top over there. And now we'll go ahead and take our dimensionals, or you can use foam adhesive strips if you'd like, our self-adhesive foam strips. And then I'm going to add, I have 6 on the back here. Make sure you get it off. And I'm going to line this up here, and you'll just see a little bit of the vellum, which is what I was going for, like that. And now we're going to take this other cloud here. I'm going to add 2 dimensionals on it, and it's going to cover up this other end of the rainbow like this. And then we're going to take 1 dimensional and add it up here at the top on our sun, and we're going to add the sun right there. Oh, I think I was losing steam for a second. There we go. There's our last card. So we are done with our class, you guys. This is seriously, and I know you're probably thinking, Robin, I know this is my favorite class. This is so fun and bright, and it's what we all needed after a long winter. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for signing up for this class, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.